Okay, today we'll be opening up these two racing oil filters. This Ford racing filter, number CM-6731-FL1A, and this Wix racing oil filter, number 51515R. And I got both of these filters at Summit Racing. The Ford filter costs $16.99, and the Wix filter costs $15.99. But you may be able to get them cheaper someplace else. So if you were going on the racetrack, which filter would you want to use? Well, let's open these up and see which one looks better. So let's get started.
This is a cord. You gotta glue the silicone, get nice and tight. Get your angle here. So trace your angle here.
Okay, let's start with the Ford filter. We'll start with the box. And we look over here. And I'll just hold this steady for a second, just so you guys can freeze this and read it if you want, because I'm not going to read all this. But right here they say, for maximum performance, Ford Racing Performance Products recommends you replace your oil and air filter every 3,000 miles. And if we look over here, they got a nice little picture here, some sizes. I'll freeze this also, hold it here steady. And let's take a look at this filter. There's a date code 9010-52316. This is a sticker, and right over here it says Made in USA, and this has got a nice gasket on here. I don't know if this is silicone. Looks nice. Nice and thick. It's on there really good. I took it off ahead of time. We got 8 inlet holes. Looks like it'd be a silicone hang drain back valve. A lot of grooves there for threads, about 4. It looks to have a base end bypass valve. Metal core louvers, and yeah, looks like a nice big filter. All right, let's look at the wicks. The wicks on the box. Let's see. They got a lot of information here too, so I'll just hold it here so you can, if you want to read this, you can. I'll just point out some of this stuff. Heavy can. It takes pressures up to 500 psi. High temperature nitro components, zinc chromed plated base plate, metal end caps, coil steel retainer spring. There's a little picture there. Okay, let's open up this box and see what this filter looks like. And the wicks comes wrapped in this plastic. Let's see, we got a date code here. Oh, I can't read that. If I can figure that date code out, I'll put it up here. Looks like they stamped it on top of it, numbers on top of each other. But this Wix also has a sticker. And over here, Made in America, Man and Homo. Okay, and the Wix has 6 inlet holes. Metal core also with about 4 grooves there. Looks to have a base end bypass valve. Metal core with louvers. And this looks like more like a nitro rubber gasket. Let's see how they stick out. Yeah, they stick out probably about the same. Ford looks slightly taller. Okay, let's cut these filters open. Let's look inside and see what makes them into racing filters. Be right back. Okay, here they are cut open. Let's get their weights. The Ford weighs 630.8 grams. And the Wix weighs 557.2 grams. Take a look at these guys up close, the gaskets. The Wix is a little bit thinner than the Ford on the left. Ford looks like, also it looks like it's made out of silicone. Looks like it kind of feels like it. Okay, base plates. The Wix is 221.3 grams. Ford is 286 grams even. Yeah, let's look at them up close. Ford's got a lot more inlet holes. They look like the same size holes, maybe a little larger actually. The grooves or threads, they're pretty equal there. I'll give this one to the Ford. It's got a heavier duty base plate. and more inlet holes. Okay, and the any drain back valves. Ford's got a silicone any drain back valve, and the Wix is a nitro rubber any drain back valve with this little gasket. Little gasket goes on here like this. So that covers up the holes nice. Yeah, they both do. They both look like they cover up the holes nicely, the inlet holes. Okay, and the Wix has this kind of bypass valve. These are nice. Spring in there. Whereas the Ford has a built-in bypass valve on the end cap right here. And let's measure these filter elements. 173.4 grams for the Ford, and the Wix is 132.5 grams. So let's take a look at the Ford. And the Ford got a lot of pleats. I counted 68 pleats. It's got a metal crimp seam right here, metal end caps. And I couldn't find a micron rating. And I'm getting these specs off a Summit Racing website, but this is they say it's a synthetic cellulose fiber blend media. Deep pleats too. Okay, and the Wix filter. Wix has a crimp seam. The Wix has 26 less pleats, 42 pleats in all. Also very deep pleats. Metal end caps, nice and clean. And also on the Summit Racing website, it says this is a glass enhanced media with the smallest filter. It filters down to the smallest size is 61 microns. So it actually doesn't filter that great. But this is a racing filter, so I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. The Wix got a spring, coil spring. And the Ford's got stamp leaf spring. Wix is 144.2 grams. The Ford is 145.2 grams. And these guys are pretty much the same thickness. You get about 0.55 millimeters for the Ford. 0.56 millimeters for the Wix. Yeah, so they're pretty much right on. And let's get the width of these filter elements. The Ford is, these guys are wide, 3.76 inches wide. The Wix is 3.32 inches wide. Not quite as wide. It's also got bigger end caps, so I'm going to add about a 1/4 inch to this Wix, because it's, look at the size of the end cap different here. You're losing some filtration in there. Yeah, so this Ford, I would say he's got more filter media. What do you guys think? Well, let's cut these guys open, stretch them out, and see what they look like. Be right back. Okay, so the Ford filter goes way over my table. And the Wix filter is 59 inches long. And the Ford filter is 96.5 inches long. Okay, let's get the thickness on these guys. The Ford filter, 0.81 millimeters thick. And the Wix filter is 1.10 millimeters thick. Quite a bit thicker. Okay, we got the Ford filter on the left, Wix on the right. Here's the filtering side, back side. And on the microscope pic, you'll see some, the wicks has some little light spots. Even though it's thicker, filter media looks like it would filter better with the Ford filter. Let's take a look at that pic. Okay, so even though the Ford filter was thinner, it looks like it'd do a better job filtering than the Wix filter. And the Ford filter blows away the Wix filter as far as filter media. You get about 150 more square inches with the Ford filter. Now let's take a look at the rest of the filter. So the gaskets I'd have to give to the Ford filter. Yeah, that definitely goes to Ford. Bypass valves, they're both the same. They're base end bypass valves. Just that this one's on the end cap. So they're both good. Silicone drain back valve, I'd give that to the Ford also. And the base plate I'd give to the Ford. It's a thicker, more inlet holes than the Wix filter. And you got a coil spring, stamp leaf spring. I guess that's preference. And they both got louvers. Let's take a look at these louvers. See if you can see these. Yeah, you can see they're opened up. Yeah, that's the Ford. And the Wix, yeah, they're also opened up. Pretty good, see that? Wicks are easier to see because it doesn't have the bypass valve here. And the cans, I give those a tie. They're both around the same thickness. So which filter would you guys want to use on the racing track? And with that being said, I think I'll wrap this video up. And don't forget, Oil Filter Fridays. I try to open up an oil filter every Friday on this YouTube channel. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and take care. The Ford filter media weighs 53 grams. The Wix filter media weighs 31.5 grams.